Hi, welcome back to the final part of your work for this week. So if you're watching this video, you should have completed the task on page 21. Watch the fermentation video clip and try to fill that in. So let's have a look at that now. So when you watch the clip, you should have been able to write down a piece of information from that clip, and there's lots of different information in there. So you could have all sorts of different answers for that. And then you should have completed the word equation. So for the word equation, on the left-hand side over here in this space, you should have glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar, and the glucose reacts with yeast. It ferments with the yeast to produce carbon dioxide and ethanol. That's the gas and the alcohol. Now, these ones over here, you can write them the other way around if you want to. You could have ethanol here and carbon dioxide here. As long as both of these are on the right-hand side of the arrow and you've got glucose on the left-hand side of the arrow, then that's fine. If you haven't completed that, or if you need to correct some work, pause the video now while you finish page 21 and then restart the video. So on page 24, you have a series of 5 questions. There are 4 questions, then there's a challenge question at the bottom. So I'd now like you to pause the video and try to complete those questions. Once you've had a go, unpause the video. So let's look at these answers. What type of microbe is yeast an example of? Yeast is an example of fungi or a fungus. Why does yeast ferment sugar, also called glucose? Glucose is a type of sugar. So why does yeast ferment sugar? To make energy. What gas is not required for fermentation? We do not need any oxygen. We don't want any oxygen there. And what gas produced during fermentation causes beer to froth? That's carbon dioxide. That's what causes all the bubbles on top of beer. And then you had a challenge question. And your challenge question spoke about why baked goods don't taste of alcohol, because we know if we're putting yeast in and it's going through fermentation, it's producing alcohol, but our bread and our cakes don't taste of alcohol. Why is that? Because alcohol has a low boiling point, so around 79 degrees C, and our ovens are much, much hotter than that. So the alcohol actually evaporates in the heat of the oven. So it evaporates in the cooking process. So by the time our goods are baked, there's no alcohol left. It's all evaporated. So another type of microbe which can produce useful products are bacteria. So we've just looked at a fungus, yeast, that was making useful products. And now we're looking at bacteria. Bacteria can undergo fermentation, and it can be used without oxygen to make yogurt and cheese. So any yogurt and cheese that you eat is actually made through fermentation of specific types of bacteria. So I'd like you to pause the video and use this information to complete the top of page 25, and then unpause the video when you're done. So hopefully now you can answer all the questions that we had at the beginning. So you should be able to describe a microorganism. That's a small living thing. You should be able to describe the 3 main types of microorganism. So we looked at bacteria, viruses, and fungi. You should be able to give a bit of information about each of those. You should be able to describe fermentation. So the fact that it's in the absence of oxygen, we don't want any oxygen there, and that it reacts to give certain products. You should be able to name 2 substances that can be made from the fermentation of yeast. So remember, the yeast reacted with glucose, a type of sugar, to give carbon dioxide and ethanol. So we can use that to make bread and alcohol. And you should be able to name 2 products that can be made from the fermentation of bacteria. So the 2 products we looked at were cheese and yogurt. If you have any questions about the work you've done this week, then please contact your class teacher so they can help you. If you'd like to go on and look at some other information, you could look at the other set of core activities, or you could look at the extension work. Otherwise, look out for the test, the little short quiz that will be coming out at the end of the week. It will be another multiple choice quiz, and complete that, and that is your work for this week done. Well done.